Morning, welcome to another episode of Carter's Life. Today I'm going to talk to you about something that's kind of hit me kind of close to home. Um, so I heard a teacher said that my child was having difficulty learning, right? And so I asked, well, what are you doing to help her during her difficulties in class? Now, mind you, if you look at her teeth, it'll tell you like if she has like a reading disability, dyslexia, or anything, right? So me already knowing that she hasn't read my daughter's teeth, like let me already know like this is why you're having difficulties, right? So I'm gonna tell y'all something. I was probably like in the third grade, and principal named Mrs. Washington over at Montgomery Elementary told my mom, you might want to invest in getting your son a typewriter because he'll never be able to write in cursive. My mom, being from Brooklyn, she didn't act out at the moment. She grabbed me by my hand and she said, come on, son, let's go. And mind you, this is the last day of school, summer about to jump off. So during the summer, usually I'm playing basketball, football, doing whatever, baseball, whatever. During the summer, my mom kept me pretty busy. But this summer, she says, you're not going to go to camp this summer. You're going to do something more important. I'm crying like, Mom, I'm a basketball, baseball player. I play football. I got to go. She said, no, you're not going to go, son. I need you to do something else. So she breaks out these notebooks. She says, open it. And it was letters that connected for cursive writing. And I just looked. She said, I want you to fill every last one of these pages out. I was like, all right. So I'm tracing them. I did it for took me like almost all summer to do it. Because after I was done tracing, I'm thinking when I'm done tracing all four of these books, I'm done. So she's like, now I want you to get this notebook. It was like 60 pages in the notebook. And write your name, your full name on every single line. Mind you, I'm looking at her like, are you crazy? So I oblige her. I do it, fill it out. I hand it to her. It took me about 3 days to do that. I said, okay, I'm done. She said, no, I said every page. That meant front and back is what she wanted me, is what she meant, but she didn't know. She didn't say it. So I'm like, forget about it. I don't care. So I go and I do it. It took me almost all summer to get everything done, right? She goes and we go back to the school. She sees Mrs. Washington in the office. She asks her, can I have a word with you? And the lady's like, oh, yeah, miss, you can have a word with me. She says, do you have a piece of paper and a pen? She's like, yeah. She said, son, write your full name on this paper. So I wrote it out all the way out in cursive. And so she handed it to her. She said, can you read that? So she repeated my name. My mom then says, son, why don't you step outside this door for a minute? Now, mind you, my mom from Brooklyn. My mom tells the lady, don't you ever in your life tell me what my son can't do, because as long as he's my child, he can accomplish anything. And as long as you stay black, don't you ever down somebody else's kid. So my mom comes out. She tells me go to class, have a good day. So the lady's trying to like prove a point to my mom. Oh, watch, we'll see. Straight A student, not getting any issues, right? And I go home and I ask my mom, I said, yo, why'd you hate me all summer? You made me do all this work all summer. Why? For what? She said, I ain't hate you all summer. I had to make sure you understood that when other people give up on you, I never will. And I said, oh, okay. She said, they said you couldn't write. You needed a typewriter. I said, oh, okay. So she said, the reason why I didn't tell you at the time was because I needed you to give me your 100% all. I was like, oh, okay. So I missed the whole summer because something the principal said. But it showed me that no one's going to believe in your children the way you, the parent, are going to believe in your children. So I say that to say this. The lady, she finally was like, okay, can you tell me what I'm missing? I said, no, your job is to go find out what's going on. So I went and talked to my daughter's old teacher. So I guess she went and gave her the rundown. Daughter's a straight A student right now. All right. So with that being said is, don't always assume that a kid is bad or just doesn't want to do the work. My daughter has dyslexia. So a 3 looks like an 8 to her. An 8 looks like a 3 to her. But she has a great lady who pulls her out of class to help her with it. There are some of you teachers, and I'm saying this as a parent. Some of you teachers just go to work just to get a paycheck. You really don't care for the kids. You really could care less. And then you get those very few teachers who care about the child and their well-being and them getting ahead in life and them learning and understanding it. There's very few of y'all. My son used to have a teacher named Mrs. Kimball. I love Miss Kimball. I wish she was still working at the school. Miss Kimball told my son, I'm going to be twice as hard on you because your dad works here. My son was like, no, you're not. And because Miss Kimball got the best out of my son, I had no complaints. There's another lady named Mrs. Sadie White. She got the best out of my daughters because she wouldn't give up. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand, you're going to run into very few teachers who care about your children. And if you see them caring, you got to let them kind of like parent your kid while they're at school. A lot of you parents nowadays get upset because you have a good teacher who wants to parent your kid and see him get through, but you don't want them to tell your kid, like, give him the tough love. Sit them down for recess. While the other kids are playing, make them do their work so they understand, hey, if I do my work, I could be out here playing too. See, it starts when they little. It starts when they young. Don't blame the teacher for that. Blame them teachers who just want your kid to, oh, well, she can do the work. Oh, well. Teachers wait 3-4 weeks before they notify the parent, before you get an email that your kid is failing. What can I do with 2 weeks left? Nothing. I need you to tell me that first week my kid messing up. The first 3 days, you know. That's how I grew up. My teacher was, we ain't had no email. My teacher called my mom on the phone. You don't believe me? We got my mom. Your son, good kid, lazy. I need 100%. Bet. That's all my mom would say. Bet. I come home. How was your day? Great. How was your schoolwork? I did it. Did you do it or did you do it all? See, there was a difference. I said I did it. Okay, we'll get to the kitchen table and do the rest. That's how you parents gotta be. They say it takes a village to raise a kid. Yeah, you right, it do. But when you inside that house, it take the parent that's inside the village to raise the kid, to discipline the kid, to talk to the kid, to let the kid know that the world is not a joke. We ain't in the 80s and the 90s. We ain't in that phase. This is the 20th century we in. And it's worse now than it was then. Gotta look at life. Your children are going to fail in life if you don't give them the proper tools to be successful. Don't blame the system when your kid is in prison or when your kid is out here dead. Don't blame the system because you didn't teach your child correctly. Now, some of you did and your kid just want to do what they want to do. That's that. But I'm talking about when you actually got that moment to sit back and say, you know what? This is unacceptable. I always tell my kid, this is not the Carter way. This is not it. So yeah, I'm going to be hard on you. Yeah, I'm going to tell you some tough love. Yeah, I'm going to take from you. Because I always tell my son, you going to be better than I was. You understand that? Fathers, understand one thing. I'm only going to tell you this. If your child turns out to be how you were, not how you are now, but how you were, that's because it was mimicking you. But I make sure that I'm on my son's neck. Like, nah, you're not finna do that. You ain't finna be disrespectful. I tell my daughter the same thing. You ain't gonna be disrespectful. You ain't finna talk back. You gonna chill out. Because if they respect the people at home, they gonna respect the people when they out and about. Carter's Life.